G'day Magpie fans, welcome to the Harry O'Brizzle Show.
Magpie fans, this is the real Harry O'Brizzle Show. You've just tuned in. Strap yourselves in and enjoy the ride. This is going to be a multicultural special. Hola, Martin.
Hola, Heretier.
Ah, como se chama?
Hola, Heretier, how you doing?
Konnichiwa, Luke.
Konnichiwa, Harry.
You obviously have indigenous heritage, but
Yes.
your father is
Is an Englishman.
say, my name's Dane Swan and I play for Collingwood.
Malboy, Nalabay, Milbit, Alabine, Swallowbone, Alabine, Nalabay, Calaban, Plably, Fallboy, Calabar, Alabine, Wilwood. So,
I come from Drawn, which is in Gippsland, about an hour and a half away.
That side were born in Glasgow and come over when they were 10 or 11 or something. So
For about 3 or 4 days after the season, I speak fluent Swahili.
Dibbly dee potatoes.
I'm Harry O'Brien from Jamaica.
yeah, apart from that, I speak the international language of love.
And welcome back to the club. And the man himself joins us in the studio, AFL Multicultural Ambassador Harry O'Brien. Welcome to the club, mate.
Thanks for having me. It's about time you guys got me in here. Need to spice things up, add a bit of colour to the show.
There's a fair bit of multiculturalism going on at Collingwood. What was Dane Swan? What language was he speaking?
Well, it's actually a language that I believe he and his friends spoke when they grew up. It's called Double Dutch. It's not an official language, but I don't know how they do something with every syllable. And he speaks.
So he wasn't just making it up.
He wasn't. He actually speaks it fluently. He used to speak it with his mates growing up. So yeah, it's quite remarkable.
Now, this role, this ambassador role that you have, tell us about it.
Oh yeah. So with the AFL, it's just logic. It's just logical to focus on multiculturalism, targeting people with culturally diverse backgrounds. Here in Victoria, 50% of the population are either born overseas or their parents were born overseas. So I think it works on two levels. For the AFL to get their numbers up, they need to start to target people with culturally diverse backgrounds from different cultures, etc. And also as well, it's a great way. Football is a great vehicle for people to assimilate into Australian culture that feel disconnected in some way. And I was certainly one of those. Football was a way that allowed me to feel connected to Australian culture, and that's. That's why I'm involved now, because I know how important football has been in my life.
Now, your Brazilian heritage, you're obviously very proud of it, and you get back there as often as you possibly can. And you took a special guest last year when you went back.
That's right. I went. I went with Ben Johnson. We went there. That's us having.
How did he go? How did he go, the boy in South America? I just can't see him in that environment.
No, he was actually fantastic. You could tell at the start he was a little bit out of his comfort zone, but he was just wanting to learn and just loved every bit of it, every second of it. And then the week after, we spent about 10 days together, and then Taz and Swanee came and joined us in Rio. So that was
any culture shocks for Jono?
There were a few actually. There was one time where I was just wrecked, because we pretty much leave the Copeland and go straight over there, and I was wrecked. I couldn't really be bothered going out one night, and he and Jono was just pestering me saying, "Come on." I said, "Look, I'm not going to. I'll be sick if I go out." And he said, "Well, fine, I'll go out by myself." And I said, "Nah, I wouldn't do that." I just wanted him to stay with me, but I said, "I wouldn't do that. Something will happen." He said, "Nah, stuff you, Harry." So he went out onto the street. And he reckons he got mugged by two old women. He did.
And he's admitted it.
Yeah, well, he didn't actually get mugged. He didn't get mugged. But what happened was there was these two old women that were on the streets, and they came up to him and sort of blocked his path, and he couldn't understand what they were saying. And so he just panicked and just gave money and just sort of ran away.
And what about other issues adjusting to the culture, particularly where you were staying?
Yeah, well, I took Jono to stay in one of the favelas where I've got family and friends. And favela, for the viewers, is sort of like you consider it a slum or a ghetto, but they're quite negative connotations that go with it. It's more of a community where there's poverty, and Jono stayed the night in one of them, and in the morning he didn't realise that the flush button never works in the bathrooms. There you actually have to fill up a bucket. and flush whatever is down there with the water yourself. So Jono went to the toilet and he woke me up in the morning and he said, "Harry, the flush button's not working." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Look, I just can't, I've gone to the toilet, I can't get it down." And I just sort of chuckled. I wouldn't tell him what to do, and he was just panicking that people, that no one would go into the bathroom. And I let him go for about 10 minutes. Then I told him, "You actually have to fill up the bucket there and pour it down." So the little things like that happen. It was a great time. I've never actually taken any of my friends over to Rio, the place where I was born, and somewhere I'm really proud of, and it was fantastic to share it with Jono, but also later Taz and Swanee.
Mate, stick with us. We've got to get to a break, but more of Harry O'Brien in just a moment.